Hi, welcome to the next edition of GrandLine Grinders Podcast, episode 41. So your favorite One Piece TCG podcast. If you're not subscribed already, do it right now. Subscribe to all of our channels, and I'll try to do some videos with both of these guys in the future. Repreach is still getting into the game at a competitive level, and of course, favorite anime villain. We might do a co-op at some point. We're still in discussion about that. So, how are you guys doing this week? Starting with, I guess, Repreach.
I'm doing pretty good. Got off of some pretty wacky things going on in life, but here we are. Somehow made it to stream.
Yep. How are you doing this week? Favorite anime villain?
Another week, another 7 days of waking up every morning. We're here,
Yeah, it's a 7 days waiting until the next podcast. Those are the sad days, man. When you're waiting for the next podcast.
Well, we could always rush it, and we could just end it right now and restart.
Yeah. We could just do it every day.
Yeah, or just immediately jump to 43.
So we're going to talk about, of course, ranked queuing and some spoilers. Mainly the ST30 deck got dropped. At least some of the cards. We're going to talk a little bit about them. What we think that those cards could do in the upcoming weeks. I'm not 100% sure when the actual deck comes out in the West, but we'll get to that, I guess, when we get to that point.
I believe it's August is what I saw. I think it's April in Japan and August for us, which is weird because we're supposed to be on global release, but
yeah, so maybe the global release happens in August. I don't know.
Well, everything syncs up or is supposed to sync up in April. Like April 1st, the first block of cards is supposed to rotate out. We're getting a ban list on the 15th or the 16th, probably after Nats.
Yeah,
or not Nats, Worlds.
I mean, but so I just wasn't sure if OP16 was going to be in the same release date for all of us or not.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Like, because the simultaneous release would happen whenever we both get the same box or same product every all the time, every single release.
Right.
I don't know.
I think OP16 is supposed to be a simultaneous release.
I was thinking they were going to wait until we got. Isn't 17 the next special set? Like
the next anniversary set. Yeah,
I would have thought the next anniversary set probably might be when their target is, but I don't know. We'll probably talk more about that a little bit later. But okay, so first of all, we have our ranked queues for. I think this is the first one for EBO3, or maybe the second. So Vivi's here. It seems like she got a lot of play. She kind of underperformed a little bit by 1,000. A lot more losses than wins at the bottom here. And Sanji, I'm assuming got a lot of increase in play because I wanted to try the new Reiju from EBO3. But for some reason, Up Luffy's here. I don't think he got anything from the set, but he's still trucking.
Some people play the 7-cost Charlotte Linlin from EBO3.
That is true. I did try her, and she was weird.
It's not like anything that pushes the deck more in like a favorable way. It's just like another card that people can run. Nothing. I think maybe it just plays well into the current matchup spread, possibly.
Yeah, like the only thing that I seen advantage for her, period, was the fact that on your 7 drawn turn, it does allow you to get to 8, so next turn you get to use the ability, leader ability. That was like the main advantage, but I'm like, I don't know. I tested her out, in the deck, and it didn't seem like it put up that good of a result. Then again, I also didn't play Mihawk in the deck, because I was trying to post-ban list, or post-rotation list, but, so Luffy's sticking around at 7, not terrible. Kind of surprising how low of a win rate it is, considering the fact that it got the new Nami and the new Nico Robin. So it seems a little strange to me, but
I mean, other stuff does still just play well into it. Like Rosinante is a pretty hard matchup. Ace is a pretty hard matchup. Nami can be a pretty hard matchup if they see all of their pieces, which they often do. So it's not really that shocking.
And then Mihawk, of course, dropping down to 6. Makes sense. I don't think it's nowhere near at the top here. I wouldn't put it in the S tier at all. Like, the question is, I guess, do you think Nami is an S tier deck now?
No.
Or do you think she's just overplayed because of the new cards?
I think it's heavily played because it's a good deck because of the new cards. I wouldn't say it's like overplayed. It fits into the meta. It's a strong deck. It's not S tier though. Like,
I mean, because
Yeah, I don't think it's so far cut above everything else that it's going to be the S tier deck right now.
well, I guess most of the time in One Piece we consider the S tier as in the category of where the top 3 decks sit. So is she a top 3? Basically, is more what I was asking.
I mean, no, I don't think there are 3 top decks. I think Emu is still busted just because of what the cards do, and Ace is very strong because it draws an insane amount of cards. But Boa and Nami can both play well into Ace, theoretically. Like, there's too many good decks in the meta right now to be like, oh, this is the top 3. Like, even Ace kind of plays a little worse into this meta right now.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. And Ace hasn't got a new piece in quite some time. I don't even think
No,
he's not even getting a new piece at OP 15 either.
no.
So like, I kind of expect him to dwindle in the next couple of
It's
sets unless he gets
it's
something.
possible that he even takes a hit on the ban list. Realistically, a lot of people complain about the 8 cost
Event.
Whipbeard event.
Yeah, I wouldn't be upset if they pair ban that, but I don't think they should outright ban the card.
I mean, there's no reason that they would pair ban it. It's not like Marco, which is the only other blue. I guess blue
Newgate.
yellow ace as
Ace
well,
Gate,
but rotating out. And then what was that?
Ace
Oh,
Gate.
Ace Gate, yeah. I guess.
I mean, that's what it was designed for in the first place, right? It was designed for Ace Gate, but
No, it was designed for Ace. It came out in the same set as Ace.
it was in the starter deck. It was in the Ace Gate starter deck.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. It was. I guess, yeah, it was technically designed for
It
them.
technically was, but it never really mattered because I mean, why play that when you have this Ace, which is strictly better and it draws so many more cards, and you're not restricted to just playing Whitebeard cards. You could play
Yep.
anything, and it's just like
And you gain value off of your things being removed. I think any deck that gains value off of cards being removed or is like a deck that you can't remove the field of, like, I'm pretty much talking about like Boa, Rosinante, Emu, Ace, even kind of Yellow Luffy in a sense. Like, you can't really either remove the board because it will benefit the player in some way. Like, Yellow has Kikanojo. If you kill that, it heals the person. Boa, if you kill one of their characters once per turn, it takes a life. Emu is just, you can't remove their characters. Like, there's ways to play around it, but like, it's those types of effects that I think are really, really strong and maybe a little busted.
yeah. And I wonder how the format's going to change once rotation hits and Red Rock leaves. Like,
I'm curious about that as well. Will Boa and Nami be as much of a threat without Red Rock? They still have Pudding.
I mean, if you think about it, 6 of the 10 decks are Red Rock decks.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think Sanji is gonna hurt a lot without
Yeah.
Red Rock.
I guess Vivi, does Vivi play Red Rock?
I don't think so. I think they do a lot more like KO based removal
Yeah,
with like the 10 cost shanks, but don't quote me on that. They
they
might
do.
get Red Rock.
Some people have tried the buggy, but man,
Yeah,
his buggy felt a little awkward when I was
yeah.
Yeah.
testing him. I
You
rather
don't
just play
always
Shanks.
have 4 or 5 costs on field.
Yeah, but yeah, it's kind of weird that blue is just kind of proven it's the best support color.
It
I wonder,
has what's up?
and I wonder how much that's going to alter after rotation and Red Rock leaves. Is it still going to be the second? Is it still going to be the best support color?
Well, the included like thought that you have to have is in 15 we also get the 1 cost 2k counters that are removal protection. Some of them are better than others, but when you plop one of those down and your opponent goes to grab blade you, they can't.
Let me check. I'm trying to remember. Is it KO or is it removed?
It's removal. The red one is a Kobe. That 1 cost Kobe, you just passed it. It's under Cavendish, yeah.
Get removed.
So
Yeah.
it is base power of 7k
Yeah.
or less, but that is a lot of the range of like a grab blade.
Yeah. Of Tiger. Yeah. Gravity Blade. Yeah. Because I mean that kind of just makes that card just kind of bad because I mean 6 drops or less yeah 2 6 or less is they're going to be 7,000 or less.
Exactly.
So
Well, unless it's a weird vanilla situation, but we don't really have a deck in the meta right now that relies on uh
a 6
that
8.
yeah, like a 6 cost 8k vanilla. And everything else is usually balanced. Like if it has an effect, it's usually like a 6 cost 7,000 power. So exactly, like
Yeah.
that is the ideal target for Red Rock or for Gravity Blade, and it's just gonna be like useless because of
And
the protection cards.
And weirdly enough, the only deck right now I think that plays it consistently in their deck that plays a 6 drop 8,000 probably will not be playing it after OP 15 because they get the new 3 drop Kagura. Because currently they think they do play the 6 drop
True,
8,000
true.
Kagura, but that's only
You're
because
right.
there's not another option. But now they're getting the 3 drop, they don't need to play it anymore. So
Yep, and they have the 5 cost Calgara as well
yeah,
that draws a card when life is moved.
yeah, when your opponent takes life, yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, so that's like the only deck right now that plays the 6 drop 8,000. But once OP 15 hits, they get the new Kagura. I don't know if they'll play it still. So
yep. No, you're right. That is specifically the one deck that actually relies on a 6/8, but
yes,
it could not. They could cut that just for room for other cards.
yes, they can. Um, so I guess remaining, we should probably talk more about the decks that get umped up from OP. I mean EBO3 the most. Like I guess we could talk about EB. I mean if you want to talk about Heroin Cup here, I mean we have Nami here, which is in Boa. But I was gonna go more lines of what do you think about I mean Rosie kind of gets one card from the set. Sanji gets one, and Vivi as a whole gets basically their entire deck from the set. So, what are you thinking about EBO3's effect on this meta, like from these leaders?
Uh, Rosinante is really, really strong.
Yeah,
That law card does a lot for it. The deck was already approaching being pretty strong, though, but being able to cycle I Love You into EVO3 Law is very, very strong. Nami and Boa obviously both get 5 cost Nami, which is just a menace. I love the card, but it is definitely an absolute menace to the meta. Um, Sanji gets that Reiju. That card is insane. That card is so fucking good. Vivi is a good deck as well. So like I think a lot of the EBO3 cards were pretty stellar. Even the cards for Kobe. Kobe is like pretty solid right now because of it.
yeah. I wouldn't be surprised to see if Kobe shows up in the next few weeks, especially after Vivi kind of flopping here. Like maybe he will show up. And that new Hibari is insane. Like
Very,
literally,
very
it comes
scary.
down. It has rush character, target herself, hit something else, target something else, make it attack active.
Yep.
She is just something else. She's awesome.
The issue is Kobe is significantly worse once the removal stuff comes in. The like anti-removal stuff.
I mean, does he though? Like his main plot is not really to remove. His main plot is attack into the active, which is kind of removing by removing.
Yeah. You're right.
So like for him, he actually gets an advantage, I think, over other leaders because his primary source of removal is attacking their actives. But that is kind of bad into Boa, into Nami, and into
Yeah, I think that
Robin.
might be what's holding him back is more just the number of things that grant advantage to the opponent. Like Boa, you attack into one of their characters, you take a life. That's rough.
Yeah, I do wonder if he's going to show up maybe after OP15 when he gets the new 7-drop Kobe.
So in Japan right now, they have EVO4, which is where that Kobe's from, and Kobe is like tearing up the meta, or was tearing up the meta before 15.
Now, there's always the side of American ideology versus JP ideology, and I don't think that's going to cross on the line on this, even in considering it.
You think
where it'll be different results from the EN side, even though that typically can happen with some cards that are quite opinionated.
So I think it's about it for this section, right? Is there any leader here that you find interesting that you want to talk about, Repreach?
I find interesting.
Yeah.
Honestly, I am happy that Corzone's showing good results right now, but it's considering what happened last time when me and you played, Gecko's falling off the map.
Mm-hmm.
Hurts my heart. I'm always in for a good reanimation strategy.
It probably will. It might be back next OP15 when it gets the tons of new support. The new 1-drop, Dr. Hag back, and the Absalom and etc. Like he does get quite a bit of good black support next that. So he might be back. The good news about that is all those cards are black, so it kind of directly only affects Gecko Moria instead of boosting everyone else that plays the Thriller Bark package. So it actually gives you a reason to play him. So that's nice.
I was going to play him regardless.
True, but a lot of people they just shove the Throw Bark stuff in every single yellow deck almost anymore. So
you don't need to call me out, Keb. I understand what I'm doing.
I've seen Boa Hancock play it.
Yeah, so yes, it's weird, but it's 7 Warlord yellow stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the only deck that doesn't play is, of course, Rosie, right? It's the only yellow deck that's staying true to his colors. I'm kidding.
It's just so based on a specific character that you can't really put other packages in the deck.
Yeah, and that's fine with me. But the only thing to take a note, I guess, if you're playing the Heroin Cup coming up, I technically registered for one on Wednesday. I'm of course playing Sugar, but the only thing that's kind of noticeable is the fact that the only 2 female characters that have a positive win rate on here are Boa and Nami, and Vivi is kind of bad already into everything. Like he's not winning enough. 45% win rate. It's not looking great when it comes to if you want to play this for the cup. And Nami over here and Boa Hancock are so much stronger.
Vivi actually just won a Heroin Cup that I was at on Friday.
That's good. Because I really like to see some more diversity in this.
I will say, no offense, this dude is a good player. We were all at a Heroin Cup that was filled with very, very casual people, very, very casual players. One person that I sat down to play against had never won a game before and was also playing Boa with no Kumas.
I mean, maybe they wanted to go all in on having a 100% female deck.
No, I don't.
That would have been a challenge worth actually having this cup for. If every card in your deck had to be female, bro, that would have been a tournament.
I don't think there's enough playable cards for every deck to
Oh,
do
I
that.
know you have to scrap out that 5 drop 6,000 Monet 2K vanilla, but I think it would be interesting at least. But then again, I guess the power level difference between just the Nami and Nika Robin and every other female character would just be kind of obscene in the same regard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because the other, off the top of my head, like the other strongest female character cards are like 5 cost Tashigi from the Zoro deck, the one that like rests something and then puts 3 Dawn on your leader. That card is very, very strong, but you can only play it in Zoro, so you can't even play it in a female deck.
like
So like
Bonnie. Yeah,
that's the neck, like that's the closest like super powerful 5 cost female card in my opinion, and it's locked to a male leader. So I
yeah,
think I will 100% agree. Nami and Robin are leagues ahead of every other female character card.
yes, and it would make it very skewed even more. I think
Mhm.
if, but it is kind of sad. Like that, it's just kind of two decks now. Like these two. Hopefully, maybe I'll do good because I think the place I'm going to typically the people that play there don't really play meta. Like they kind of just play whatever they want. Um,
That's cool.
so maybe it's more of a chilled and fun experience, maybe possibly. But
Those are the players you got to fear the most because they don't care whatever the hell's going on. They just learn their one deck.
yeah, I literally the one time I went there, I faced Odin, red green Odin. Um, I faced Zanji, which was fun, and like I faced the red green Luffy that they used to play the animal package red green Luffy.
OPO1.
Yeah, so they played all the animals inside of red green Luffy. Not the OPO1, the new OP13 Luffy. He just
With
had
the
all the
animal
animals.
package? That's crazy.
Yeah, I know, right? It was just fun. Like,
The hell?
yeah, so people were having a blast. So maybe it'll be better from my experience than most people's. They're facing nothing but Namis and Boas. But looking at these actual percentages, it looks like Nami's like killing Hancock over here.
Yeah, Nami is one of the best decks to play into Boa. It absolutely slaughters it.
And it's pretty good into Rosante.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Also,
also
one
funny
of
how Eevee's on the absolute goddamn floor with this block. Having two favorable matchups out of, or having one favorable matchup out of all of them.
Yeah, Vivi. I mean, this is basically 50-50. Ace.
Fair enough. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's close enough that I guess you could say two, because the mirror is always going to be what the mirror is with 50, unless there's something really goddamn flawed with data collection.
And 48.3% isn't terrible. Like, that's slightly subpar. Like, you're going to win basically, what, 4 out of 10 around there? Sometimes you win 5 out of 5. So
there's two very close, three with the 48.3 as well that are considered unfavorable but close. It's playing a very close game for the most part, but just, I don't know. I am the type of player that if I'm picking a deck based,
we'll let him get his part in later. Yeah, so he was talking about VV. Like, VV doesn't look all that impressive. Like, at least when it
I
comes
thought
to.
it was going to do much better.
I was having a hard time winning with the deck. And again, I was playing the version with Buggy. Like, Buggy felt so awkward. He would just sit in my hand because I didn't have enough bodies. So that version does play, it needs like the 7-drop VV that allows you to cheat down the 8-drop so that we can get to the Buggy fast enough.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way I can see on curve that Buggy's good enough is where you have to go 5-drop VV into, your Nami, and then you have your 7-drop VV into 8-drop Chaka and Pell, and then you can play Buggy on curve. But other than that, he felt really awkward. I'd rather just play Sanji. I mean, not Sanji, Shanks.
Mhm.
But so I think these these match splits are kind of pretty healthy for the most part. Like you see, each deck has at least 3 losses, red, so that way they're kind of in check. Even Emu has 3 bad ones.
Mhm.
Nami has 3 bad ones. Rosante has 3 bad ones. Boa has 4. Um, Sanji has 5, right?
Yep, 5.
And he's good into 4 with the mirror. So that's not no 4 in the mirror. So that's not like terrible. Mihawk is still trucking around like 50-50 as well, like Sanji
Mhm.
is. So like I think this actually is a pretty healthy position, right? Like no deck is like a so much superior that they have like only one bad matchup.
Yeah, no, that's what I was kind of mentioning before we started the podcast tonight. Like, I don't think there's any one or two specific deck that are just blowing everything out of the water. It's a very even like spread of playable leaders. Some leaders are just seeing play because they're new, and obviously they're not seeing a lot of success. But a lot of things have pretty good spreads, either being like 50-50 into the meta or like 60-40. Some decks being 70-30 overall, but I'm kind of surprised that Ace is 50-50 right now.
Yeah, Ace has no like abysmal matchup. The first one's 38.2.
I mean, that's like 60-40 basically, but that can still be kind of rough.
Yeah, I mean, if you really wanted to address this matchup, you could. But I don't really think you need to address, up Luffy, right? You would be picking one of
No,
these.
exactly. Exactly.
Because you how many up Luffys are you expecting to face in a tournament? So, but I actually think Rosie's probably the best deck. Look at this percentages. Like it's not like 41.1. It's not terrible. I mean, it is Sanji. So like the only time that this is gonna matter, I guess, if they find their Virgo, and then you're probably getting 41.1%. That didn't just happen to me. Um, and then you have your Ace matchup, which I guess is like the arguably top 4. Like you're expecting to see multiple of these in any
Yeah.
given tournament. But 36.2 is not like horrendous. Like you could address this if you wanted to by
I
taking
mean,
some percentages from VV or
you
somewhere
you
else.
can't you can't really address it. The deck list is really tight. You don't have space for tech cards. The best thing you can run is Gamma Knife. That's like your tech, but you're already running that. There's not really a way to address the ace matchup, and sometimes there's just not a hefty tech card that will win a matchup for you.
Yeah, I mean, because most of the time your tech cards for this deck would be events. And how much is an event really going to change? Because like you use it once and it's done. So
And it's immediately an unsearchable event.
yeah, so I guess I could see that unless there's some niche situation, maybe but even then,
Well,
that's not.
the issue with the ace matchup is that ace naturally runs Atmos and they naturally run Jozu. Your big like important cards are 4 cost promo Law and 6 cost Law Rosinante.
Yo,
What up? What up?
So, but yeah, basically
Uh,
you're saying the only real way that you can objectively win in that matchup is the same way you could objectively win with Sanji, right? Is you get Virgo down,
yeah,
and at that point you're not getting tempoed out. But that's still a big ask since you can't really search for. I guess you can for because of sugar.
yeah,
Don't they play sugar? But
yep.
um, yeah. So like I mean, for the most part, I think this is
You,
actually the best deck right now. I mean, 60% win rates across these is pretty solid. You expect we probably will see multiple emus and Mihawks in any given tournament and Luffy. So like that's a really good starting 3 to find. for 60% win rate?
I think it's definitely a very solid deck, but just as many people are also going to be running, like, as much as you're going to see of like Emu and Mihawk, you're going to see twice as much Nami, Boa, and Ace, which are specifically Rosinante's worst matchups. So like it has the best like gap in how much it wins in the matchups that it wins to, but it's playing into a meta that is super unfavored for it.
That's assuming that the meta stays at that.
There's not really a huge reason for, like, the meta's going to change. Like, it's going to evolve over, the next month until we get EV or OP15, and then the meta is going to change entirely. We're in like a 1 month pocket format essentially, but there's no reason for people to stop playing Nami. It's an incredible deck. There's no reason for people to stop playing Ace. It's an incredible deck. Boa is also really, really good and very aggressive. So like we're in the format that's being shaped for sure, but the cards that were given to these decks in EVO3 kind of set them for the format. Like Rosinante is in the top tier of decks for sure, but it's just playing into, you got to dodge your bad matchups basically, which can happen, but you can also sit down in a big tournament and run into your worst matchup 4 out of your 9 games,
And it also doesn't really help that if you invest in Nami now, like, she just gets better after OP15 when you get 1-drop Nami Searcher. You also get
and the Zoro.
Yeah, so like you just get so much more.
And
yeah,
you get 5-cost Borsellino.
Yeah, assuming they don't ban that card soon. I'm kidding.
It's very unlikely that they ban a card before it even releases.
Yeah, he's like the prime example of a card that should have been locked to Egghead, and they didn't do it for some reason.
I agree, and it's not just because I am a Yellow Luffy enjoyer, an Egghead enjoyer. The card is very strong. I'm not gonna say it's overtuned. They probably should make it where you can't run Quasar and Borsellino in the same deck, or that like you can only run that combo in Egghead decks. They should definitely set it in some way where you can't Quasar a Borsellino back from the trash.
Yeah, hopefully they learn the lesson after this. These 2 instances where they did not put a restriction on it, because Nami also should have been restricted to probably some sort of Straw Hat leader. The fact that she wasn't was kind of weird. Now she just became this yellow staple across everything. Like, even Pudding. Like, would you play Pudding without her? Probably not, right? Like, why would you?
You can run it. It's good, but on your 5 Dawn turn, you actually want to be at your 6 Dawn turn, and you want to do something that ramps. Pudding is like a deck that Nami isn't the most crucial card in.
I know that. I was just using. I was being a little, I guess,
Hyperbole.
Hyperbole. Like, even in a deck that you think never would want to play Nami, you could argue, why wouldn't you want to play Nami? It's kind of like in Magic the Gathering. Like, you're in black. Why wouldn't you play Thoughtseize? I don't know. It's kind of just like a universal staple in that color. So she's kind of the same thing. She shouldn't have been that. She should have just been something for Straw Hats. Like Robin was. Robin was perfect in that regard.
I get the idea that you're coming with, but yellow gets trickled down good cards very rarely. So, like, especially, like, so many yellow cards have been locked recently. Like, Robin is locked. 9-cost Boa Hancock is locked. 9-cost Bonnie is locked. 10-cost Anel is locked.
Yeah, but
also, there's a part of it that comes with, if you keep locking your game design, you're not really going to end up with a bunch of different diversity in decks. You're gonna end up with the pre-made shit that you came up with while doing R&D.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I mean, yeah, that is an advantage, I guess, of opening it up, and more leaders could play the good cards, and they can compete, which I guess that makes the card like see like 50% deckless representation. But at the same time, it's like the advantage, of course, which is kind of ironic, that yellow is the one that you mentioned that does this, has been doing this the most, and yellow is arguably known for the one of the colors that have the highest price tag of a color. It's kind of funny because typically when you leader lock a card, typically the price of the card is less than if you wouldn't have, because less decks can play
to
it.
a certain extent,
if the meta favors that leader that the card is good in, there's no reason it's going to be cheaper.
True. So like eventually your argument would be it's like then now we'll just stop seeing play and Nami sees play because it has the leader lock Nico Robin, which is a valid point too. I was just like, I think it's kind of ironic though that the color that has the worst case scenarios of cards being expensive also is the color that has the most locked cards, which you would think would be the inverse because locked typically means it's cheaper. Like the Five Elders, right? That card is dirt cheap. The entire Emu deck is dirt cheap because it's locked basically to Emu. So it's just
well, no. The whole deck is cheap because it's commons, rares, and one SR.
That is true as well, but it's also
it's because the power is in lower rarity shit rather than being only in the higher rarity shit.
Yeah, it's the rarity of the card also dictates like a price to a degree, or like a starting point on a price, because
yield, supply, and demand.
My argument was more of if I believe isn't Five Elders locked?
It's locked to Emu, yes.
Yeah. So, but if it wasn't locked, it would see play across multiple black decks, in which which the price tag of all those cards would be elevated and more expensive. Like at that point,
yes, the demand would be higher.
Yeah, that's more what I was getting at. Like you could just play it in Blackbeard and be pretty happy with it, right? Like, or whatever. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you probably don't need a. Is there anything else you want to talk about regarding the meta as it currently stands? And I guess Repreach, you want to finish what you were saying before? Your internet.
Before my internet, decided to shard itself. Typically, when I'm deciding what deck I want to play, also I do have to say it's funny because my internet got double smited. My normal internet went down, and then my backup internet that I always have on hand went down. Something didn't want me to finish what I was saying. But I will look for what's able to beat 2 out of the 3 best decks in the meta. And what is the best deck, we can variance on that, but what I expect to really show up the most. And if I see a deck that has more flatline matchups against everything, I would rather avoid picking that as a guy that's trying to go to a tournament and winning. But for the average casual player, you want to see a deck that's able to perform fairly well against every matchup.
Yeah.
Because that means the deck's not going to go out of the meta anytime soon. It's still able to beat things up. Even if it's not that great at doing it. With Vivi losing most of her matchups, but only slightly, you're not going to expect her to fall out sometime soon.
Yeah, that's one of the pillars of Emu, right? It's very good across the board. It's not terrible in any particular matchup other than Rosante. But at the same time, he's just cheap.
And Ace.
It's cheap. So $50 to build the top 5 deck, by all means. That's why this deck I don't think is ever gonna go away for the most part. It's just a great way of a new player of acquiring cards for winning tournaments. And plus, it rewards you because it has a high mastery skill. So, but I'm pretty sure you don't want to play Emu, Reach. But definitely pick a deck that you want to try next. We already tried Rosie and we tried Gecko. Next topic, we have the ST30 been revealed. So the cards have been revealed, and the strategy of this deck: if you have a character with original power of 7,000 or more, this character leader gets minus 2,000 power. so he will become a 4,000 attacker. But on your opponent's turn, give all your Ace and Luffy's plus 3,000. Does not buff himself. What do you think about this potential as a leader?
I think it's pretty strong.
Specifically because it is red-green, it is going to be pretty strong because those are the aggro colors. And given the fact that, hey, it's already suggesting don't play your big buff guys at base, it's going to be able to throttle things over most leaders with just that 3K alone. You only need a 2K, which is what? A 1 cost or a 2 cost?
Yep.
That's fairly vanilla, and that's not really having any other effects, and you can get over most things. And you have some crazy 3-costed stuff that, hey, now not only do they have some stupid as shit effects, they now are big enough to go thuck against the leader. So this is going to open up a whole new expanse, I think, into red-green.
Yeah, I mean, but there is some 2 to 3 drop Luffy's. There's not that. I don't think there's a lot per se.
It's Luffy. It is a Straw Hat member.
I know,
it's basically the evergreen one of the evergreen members.
A lot of his cards though are pretty big, right? Like they're, of course, makes sense. He's like the strongest character in the game. He should be one of the strongest characters in the TCG as well. He has some, like the brand new 4-drop 6,000 Luffy.
Yeah, that card's really strong.
On play, you may rest one of your Dawn cards. This character gains Rush. What an amazing point in the life that we are at right now. Like, this is a great way of making a card that's a 4-drop also be good on 5. So it plays both roles, both, your even and your odd curve. And
kind of. It's just a 4/6 with a win attacking if you play it on 4.
Yeah, it's just a 4/6 that can't attack right now. But at the same time, like, it's still a fine 4-drop. Like, you're not mad putting that down on 4.
It's not a bad card to drop on 4. You would definitely consider to drop it on 5.
Wacky reference, but you know what this reminds me of looking at this for the first time?
Go ahead.
It's a Theros card from set 1 Theros Beyond. Or not Theros. What is it? Eldraine. Gingerbrute. This reminds me of Gingerbrute. 1/1 food token creature that can't be blocked except by other creatures with haste if you pay 1.
Okay, I can see.
And it's a 1/1 with haste.
Well, yeah, that's a 1 with haste on Magic's turn, but this is a 4-drop, or potentially a 5-drop with haste. That just, when it attacks, you just rest down a blocker. So it can rest down a 10-drop Newgate, or the Blackbeard. Both of those are the biggest 2 blockers in the game. Other than, I guess, the new Luffy, right? The new 10-drop Luffy also is pretty chunky.
Correct. There's a buggy promo that's a 10-12 blocker also.
That's already come out.
It's in event packs that are coming out like this month.
Yeah, for the Treasure Cup, and I think
regionals too,
Yeah, so being able to rest that down is pretty amazing. Like, it just comes, swings.
So, yes, but this is just a worse version of unblockable. It can rest down a blocker. Decks that establish multiple blockers.
Well,
I mean, it can.
It's a worse version of unblockable if you consider it is the only thing that's attacking.
Yes, that's true. Like, if you need to swing with 4
if you're
bodies,
trying to get,
then
if you're trying to get past a 4K blocker, then you can, if they have something that's able to maybe restand the blocker, or it's just they don't want to lose the blocker in that moment and they see you have more attackers, you can straight up rest that and then maybe get 3 attacks through, where normally you'd only get maybe 1.
Yeah. So that's like the only time I would say this is better statistically, right? So if you have 3 attackers, they have 1 blocker, this is better than unblockable. Because you're getting 3 bodies through instead of just the 1 unblockable, and they'll block one of the other 2. So,
well, that's still putting the same number of swings through, whether it's unblockable or resting 1. It's just 1 body that's like swinging through. It's like, what I'm saying is, it is good in a situation where your opponent has 1 blocker, but it's not going to push for game necessarily on.
Well, ideally, looking at
It
this
could.
stacked with,
It
the
could.
Luffy Ace,
For sure. I'm just
you're
saying,
going aggro at.
Because
They're not
if
hoping
you
for
it
have
them
has
having
multiple blockers, it only deals with one. It's a good card. It's like
True.
a small Hody, basically. Like a small,
Yeah.
slightly worse Hody. I'm not saying it's a bad card. I'm just saying the effect is a little worse than unblockable.
in certain situations, yeah, definitely. Because in your situation you're talking about, if you had two of these in hand and you're at 10 to 1, basically you can play one, give it rush, swing, rest one blocker. They might decide to use one of their other blockers. They don't. They let it through. Then you play the other one, rest the other one, and then they're like, "Well, that was a mistake, not blocking." So like there is those weird situations. I do think the Luffy is better than Ace out of
Yeah,
these two,
absolutely.
but I kind of think he is pretty solid. I mean, but then again, we're living in a world where green's like the second best color or the first, one of the two, depending on how you want to pair between him and yellow, like those two colors. So like there's also Ace, which has a very similar same effect on play. You can rest at dawn. This gets rush. I like it. Um, when attacking, you give up to one of your opponent characters minus 1,000 power for the turn. Because for some reason I guess they figured that if it was leader too, it would be too cracked.
Only Karasu gets that.
Yes, they haven't done it since, so clearly they acknowledge they made a mistake with that card. But what do you think about this card? Like, are you playing a full playset in your green red Luffy deck?
It depends on the number of Ace and Luffy cards that we get that fit the description of the deck. No. I for this card I would almost rather just run the 5 cost 6k power Ace that if your opponent tries to remove it, you can reduce its power by 2k.
Yeah, you are right.
I agree.
There is a
That
very
has counter as well.
it is very awkward if you look at this as a 5-drop. Like there is a lot of competition in this deck for 5-drops. Because you have the 5-drop Luffy that has rush. When he swings, you attach a Dawn somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Ace, which also is this Ace here is a 5-drop. You have the 5-drop you talked about, where it has rush. And you have this Luffy here, which also is technically a 5-drop.
I think the green Luffy is an insane card for the deck. I do not feel the same way about the Ace. And
Yeah.
I'm looking at these more specifically as 5 cost cards versus 4 cost. Like the Luffy is good enough that you stick it and you want to swing it the next turn because it's just a really strong win attacking effect. But the Ace is whatever, it's fine.
Well, also, if we're speaking specifically about this Luffy and Ace, this being shoved in there, that 1k difference in power is not going to make as much as an impact on the board. You're not hopefully trying to snipe off your opponent's smaller characters. You're hopefully just, with this kind of strategy, making the difference between something that's bigger and making it shrink small enough that you can get through. But you're already dodging blocking with the other Luffy. So strictly 1-to-1, the Luffy is going to do a better job at win. The corner case where the Ace would be good in this specific deck. But even outside that, a 4-drop that's only giving minus 1k or a 5-drop that's only giving minus 1k as a 6k might be okay outside of this. But inside of this, that extra 1k difference, it would just be better if they straight up said, give this Ace plus 1 or 2.
Yeah, I agree. If it was give this character plus 1,000 for the battle or the turn, I think that would be better than because then you could even just be swinging a 7 into a leader instead of reducing a character that you're maybe not even going to try killing anyway.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where it's kind of weird that they did 1,000 instead of 2,000. Then again, I guess that's just 2,000. I feel like it'd be closer to this.
I could see the Ace being playable in Marco. is like the best case scenario of it, in my opinion, being the most utilized.
I can see the best case of this ace is it's regardless of whatever list you're playing it in, it is being 1 or 2 copies because you are looking for a niche corner cut scenario, and most of the time you are not going to need /want this card. But looking at matchups yet again, where maybe your opponent plays a small board of hyper card advantage, 1 or 2 costs, those exist out there. You might want to slap an ace or 2 down and just go nuke.
I guess with like OP15 and L coming out, all of the bodies are pretty small. So you could realistically swing 6 into leader and then reduce the power of one of the small bodies, just to swing one of your searchers in. Like one of your small bodies to clear one of their small bodies, or they have to give you like a 2k potentially.
Yeah, I do think it's a little awkward. If they would have kept the same stat line, this should have just had a 1k counter onto it. Like it would have been a little bit more, I think, balanced with the Luffy. But
having a 1k counter also is going to be better because then it actually has util outside of, hey, in your rush deck, this thing can go smack, but also now you have the defense added in.
That's what kind of draws me to the starter deck ace that has like the removal. It might just be KO protection. I haven't read the card in a while.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, what were you cut out a little bit.
It's also interesting that it's only during the turn. If it was at least cross turn, there would actually still be some use case for defensive mechanisms added in. But it just seems like too weak of an effect, especially when compared to the other one.
I would agree with that.
So next we have Newgate. 8 drop, 6,000. Your turn, all your characters with original power of 6,000 gain a plus 1,000. So it's an anthem. So essentially this is an 8 drop, 7,000 on your turn. But it does not get the buff here. So these two would be 9Ks on your opponent's turn. Defensively, this would not help with that. It would not help this Newgate. What do you think about Newgate?
I think it's a pretty solid card. It might not be played in the deck, though. Like, I don't know if it's entirely necessary enough to... It's good. It's very strong. A blanket buff to your whole field is pretty good, but the second you turn it sideways, it's probably getting KO'd. Oh my goodness, there's like a bug in my room. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's one of those, yeah.
I think it's one of these things where, oh my god, this is an 8 cost for a Lord effect, where, if we're looking, getting in back in Luffy and Ace in specific, this is going to be a worse buff than Leader by miles, and it's an 8 cost where typically you could drop, hey, it's going to cost more cards to do so, but you could drop 2 or 3 different things that are all going to be big enough to crash at Leader and be scary. And yeah, this can give some of your things, specifically, since we just talked about both the Luffy and the Ace, another 1k, but realistically, do you need 10k swinging at your opponent's Leader at this late in the game if you're probably building a rush deck? I think that discounts that out.
The buff is only on your opponent's turn.
Yeah, the buff is on your opponent's turn. It's
that's even worse.
So the Leader gives the buff on your opponent's turn. So
the defensive. My bad.
Yeah, that one's defensive. This one's offensive.
Okay, that changes everything.
Yeah, so these would be 7Ks, so they could actually attack into a Roger without the buff. If you have Newgate down. It's one of those situations where it's like, it's a solid card. My worry is that, again, like if it actually, it'd be kind of sweet if it had the on play like these have. So you could pay 9 and give this thing rush and smack in for 7. But
my idea kind of behind it, I think you stick this card and you just don't swing with it for a little bit until you're trying to close out game. Like you just, the same way like Shoe Buggy keeps thing, like you just keep it on board and you don't swing with it. Obviously you can't swing with Shoe Buggy, but like it's just a utility card that's providing a bunch of value. So you just keep it on board until you need to swing out with it for lethal would be like what I would try to do. Or maybe try to stack a couple of them on board.
Yeah, if you had two of them on board, plus 2K, and they're 8s, and you're like,
It seems
Realistically,
like,
though, is it worth the Dawn to play this to get the buff? Even then,
I mean, it does seem a little late. It seems unless there's a card that maybe like cheats it out earlier, but I doubt that would happen.
because the only way I can see this being better than stacking Dawn on your characters is, hey, you want to save the Dawn for the kill turn, which that happens quite a lot, but it just 8 Dawn is a hefty investment. In order to make that worth it, you still need to have more than the 5 characters you're going to be allowed.
For sure, for sure. I'm not going to disagree with that. But maybe the turn that it's played, you have 4 characters already, so you're immediately swinging out 7s with everything instead of 6s. So that's 4 Dawn worth of value. You maybe don't close the game out that turn. You follow up into the next turn, and you're getting 5 Dawn worth of value. Because now you can swing with the new gate, and it's harder to remove because it's an 8 cost.
Or more so, maybe something I missed with what I just said is, yet again, we're in red-green. We already just talked about 2 cards that gain a rush. It probably can gain value back aftermath with the fact of, okay, you paid up front, like you say, get your couple swings first, and then make it worth half of it, but then you come back and then drop same swings, come back, and then you drop maybe 1 or 2 things with rush with more Dawn, and hey, now they got the 1K that you don't have to spend the extra for that turn.
Exactly.
I guess that tracks.
So I could see it being like, I understand the value in the card. It does seem a little slow. Maybe we'll get like we have the 5 cost of Ivankov that plays out like a Rev Army character. Maybe we'll get something for the deck that plays out a 6,000 power character from your hand. And then you could maybe cheat this out a little bit early because it's not overstated. It's very understated for good reason, but
I mean, 1K buff is still a 1K buff.
Exactly. I think it's good. I think it could definitely see play. I just think it would be better if we maybe get a card that cheats it out a little early.
Yeah, it would have to be an OP 16 set.
Yeah, that's what this set is supposed to correlate with, I believe.
Yeah.
So like, weird that Japan is going to get it early, but for us it correlates, and we already know that OP 16 is supposed to be like a return to Marineford.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you definitely know it can't be in this set, because something that usually cheats something else out is usually a super rare. It's very rare, unless it's like a 0 powered character.
Well, it would maybe be something that's in the starter deck.
That's what I'm saying, but like we know both of these are the SRs, so there's no more SRs in the deck.
Well, there's literally a rare or it's like either a common or an uncommon event that cheats out a 10 cost for 8. So there's nothing saying we don't get a 5 cost event or a 6 cost event that cheats something out that's a 6K body.
That's valid. Okay, that makes sense. I was originally thinking the character, but you're right. It could be an event, so that way you're not getting
ideal if it was a character, but it is probably too strong unless it was given to us in OP16.
Yeah. It also could be an activated ability that maybe costs something more onto a character, so it's not as cheap as just on play, get it for free. Maybe it has to stick around for a time.
Yeah, that could be interesting as well.
Or you have to have X Dawn.
I agree, though. The only way I see this card seeing play, truthfully, is because since the only non-6K power characters you're going to play will be the ones that close the game out. So you might be playing Roger or Hody in the deck, but that's strictly because you're not playing it until the very end. So with that, like, what are you going to be normally going to be playing on your A-Dawn turn? 2 4 drops? Or are you playing an A-drop like this? Like, that's
No,
like, I could,
exactly.
yeah, so
I
like this deck is weird in that regard, which is why I think it will see play, because it does your 8s, your 7, 8s, and 9s, and 10 drops. They would have to be a 6K body if you're going to be playing them on a certain reasonable turn. So you're going to take a hit because his leader wants to be a 6K
mhm.
4 life leader. You don't want to
it
be a 4,000 attack
it
leader.
really seems like the deck is going to play around a lot of 7K swings, like low cost 7K swings, which is very, very strong into like a 5K leader meta, or even good into a 6K leader meta because they have to start giving you 2K counters.
And the last card we have is Buggy. So 2 drop, 1,000 attack, 1K counter. If one of your characters with an original power of 6,000 would be removed from the field, you could rest this instead. It has blocker. So again, this kind of makes you want to play strictly 6K bodies in your deck if you wanted to play this Buggy over some of the other counters like the new 1 drop from OP15. Like you could do that instead, but if you want to play Buggy as your blocker, also protector, like you would be playing all these 6Ks just to meet this requirement and use your Buggy to protect.
Well, the buggy is obviously based around what the leader is based around. Like you're going to be playing 6K base power because you lose your leader buff if you don't. You go negative. Isn't it minus 2K power?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you're a 4K leader if you play something that is so much worse than
Yep.
being a 5. Like you now have to play Dawn inefficiently to be able to play the game because you're down one swing every turn. That's a pretty big deal. I think maybe we'll just see enough like good cards. If we see the right cards that are like 4 6s or 5 6s, the deck is gonna be good.
Yeah, and we've seen quite a bit of them. Like you said, the Marco is a 6K attacker. The 5 drop Luffy that at Dawn somewhere is a 5K
Mm-hmm.
6K attacker. So we have plenty of them, I think, that fit this bill. And on their defensive, they're 9K,
Yep.
thanks to the
Which is
leader.
very hard to remove. And then if you do try to remove them, Buggy is able to like rest itself to protect it. So
The only downside about this leader is the fact that it's not itself a Ace or a Luffy, so you can't play Sabo in the deck or Garp. I mean,
yeah, I agree. That
but
is very unfortunate.
because Garp would have been very nice to be able to get any of your 6K bodies. But
I anticipate we're probably going to get like a generic searcher for it. Again, probably something based around searching out a 6K body.
that would be an interesting searcher. So like a 1 drop search top 4 for a 6,000 base power or less,
You could even do top 5.
and it's not wouldn't be if would that be too busted if it's not restricted to any kind of pirate type?
Not really. You're restricting it to a specific power that's not that strong.
That actually would be not a bad line, right? Like, I like that. That's a pretty good strategy for a searcher, and it's unique.
It builds it specifically to this deck, like having this deck in mind. And like sure, other leaders could also run it, but they could just run better cards. They're not going to be basing their strategy off of a deck filled with 6K power bodies.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see how this deck unfolds, especially when we get to OP16. Um, so OP15, there's not going to be nothing in this set for us with this particular leader. I guess you could play Alvita. She technically counts. Um,
Yeah, I don't think you would though.
yeah, you wouldn't. So the last leader we'll discuss tonight is just Krieg. So we could talk about Lucy next time or something like that, but Krieg I think is we're on red green. Stick with red green. So what do you think about Krieg? Comes out OP15.
I thought Krieg was going to see a ton of play, but he has not seen very much The set did just come out like 4 or 5 days ago in Japan, but he's not seeing as much play as I anticipated. A lot of people that I follow or like interact with their posts on Twitter say that he feels good, but he's really missing like one crucial card that just doesn't exist yet.
Mm. I thought you were gonna say he has the smoker effect.
What do you mean?
Because he's one of those leaders that everyone thinks is going to be good, Green Red Smoker, but he just never is.
Green Red Smoker was really good around the time it came out.
It like
Super solid in OP10.
it was reasonable, but like with power creep, like you always still think it's going to be really playable, but a lot of the time it's just
It's very interesting how this has even more defensively uh, decreasing power effects on minus 2k just straight up to your opponent's board is got to be one of the more ridiculous defensive effects that a leader can have. The other effect, though, that is a main, makes me question the utility of this card. It feels like it is an extra give me that is only going to be useful sometimes against blockers, but because of given Dawn,
No,
that seems.
Preach. Have you not seen the Krieg support? A ton of the cards move Dawn
so like
onto your opponent's stock.
Got it. No, I have not. That tracks me more now.
So
Tons of them move Dawn. This is one example of it.
Yeah, so activate main once per turn. You may give one of your opponent's rested Dawn cards to one of your opponent's characters. Then give up to one Dawn card from your original cost area, so you could give an active Dawn to one of their characters. So if you activate her one time, well, you could do your own, or you could do theirs.
Yeah, well, I'm saying you can put it on a leader or a character, but yes, you can also do it
the same
in
one.
Either Dawn zone. It is worded in a way, I'm pretty sure, I haven't like double checked the FAQ yet, but I'm pretty sure you're able to manipulate your Dawn or your opponent's Dawn. So and there's a bunch of cards in the deck that have the same effect. Yeah. So like that's the effect that you're going to utilize. So it's crazy that you don't see Krieg being better, because it seems like it's just going to play around blockers. You also get to run the 7-cost green Shanks from Mihawk because it's East Blue. That's another blanket minus 1k to everything, to all of your opponent's characters. So that's 3k.
So you pretty much can just nuke their board at that point where they're not able to play low cost.
This essentially completely plays around Emu.
Yeah, so it's pretty nice, right? So you sit there and attach 2 Dawns to something, and then you basically rest it. So if it's a blocker, you just add 2 Dawn to it, rest it, swing in, or you could add 2 Dawn to something, rest it, swing into that. She's not a bad stat line of a character either, like 5/6. Like, you're not complaining about that.
I know freezing's typically a blue effect, but as of right now, do we have any freeze effects that might exist for this to make that resting maybe also defensive?
So no, but like it doesn't really matter for it to be defensive. But there's an Arlong that it's like a 4. No, not that one. It's an older Arlong.
Yeah, okay.
It freezes your opponent's rested leader, and then there's I want to say a 3/4 Arlong from one of the EB sets that makes it where something can't be rested. Like a 5-cost or lower can't be rested. So like it can't even block or be rested for a leader's effect.
I mean, technically, if you can KO this on your turn, you could make this work. Because it does state up to 2 of your opponent's rested characters will not become active. So if you can KO on your turn, it technically would work.
Well, it's more so just a body that's going to stick on field.
Yeah. So we have our searcher for him, like Django.
Yep.
Gets an East Blue card, and then he may activate once. You may give a Rested Dawn to one of your opponent's characters. Like I said, most of their stuff adds Dawns across the board. This one
Yep.
gives 2 Dawns to one of your opponent's characters in it. End of this turn, up to one of your opponent's rested characters with a 3 or more given Dawns will not become active. So that technically works.
So yeah, that is technically like a stun
Yep.
card, like you were just asking about.
Yeah, when he asked about it, immediately went down to green because green is the color that would do it.
Yeah, green is
Green and blue typically, and black are the ones that do it. Red doesn't do it so much. Then we have this Mihawk, a 2K, the on play rests up to one of your opponent's character with a given Dawn. So like that's like a secondary leader effect. I think you probably
You can get
would play this
multiple rest
card.
procs and beat through.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, also it's a 2K backup. It seems quite fair.
Yeah,
I
this
don't think
basically
you wouldn't.
this basically fills the role of Usohachi in purple.
Yes.
Because you're going to give Dawns anyways by just activate abilities like Alvida. So essentially it is kind of a strictly better Usohachi.
This is arguably better Usohachi because you can use it before 8 Dawn.
Yes, that is true.
You have to have another character that can give Dawn, obviously, but it is a little bit better than Usohachi as long as you have one of your other East Blues. Can you scroll to the 1 cost Kobe, the 2K counter, the red one? I want to see if it's East Blue or not, or if it's just
It is.
maybe
It is.
Blue. That's crazy. You can run this in Krieg,
Oh my god.
and it's the 2K counter.
It makes sense. I mean, this would be the version of Kobe in East Blue. So
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure because sometimes they're just Navy cards, but I wanted to see if they were leaning into this being playable in Krieg or not. Because Krieg is locked to East Blue characters for the debuff.
I believe the green one is not though.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's a boon. It's animal.
Hmm.
So
You can run it in Chopper though. That's kind of really good.
oh yeah, we got chopper support.
That's actually Chopper support.
Oh my
Finally.
god.
Took
It's
him
been
this
a
long.
long time.
We also got Perona support, which basically is Ryuma.
That is one hell of a nice card right there.
It's just a little bit stronger version. It's like a combination of the 2 Ryuma, the green Ryuma cards we already have.
Yep.
One KO's rested 4 cost on play. One of them does it on KO. Or one of them does it like when attacking, I think.
Yeah, and it's actually I think it's better too on curve. Like typically in Perona, like you already have enough good 4-drops.
Yeah.
So like it's being a 6-drop actually is better.
This is very solid for Perona curve.
Yeah, for the curve. We have of course our first ever Rumbar Pirates. Let's go. Choose one of your opponent's rested characters. If that character is its cost equal to the number of Dawns on a given character, KO it.
I don't think this sees play in
Probably
Krieg.
not.
I think it's like super niche.
Yeah, it can only really hit like a 2 or 3 drop unless unless your opponent already has given Dawn.
Right.
So they would have to have like Whitebeard, 10-drop Whitebeard, put the 2 Dawn on something, and then you still would have to
Which
give
I
3
don't
Dawn to
think they need
Yamato.
the rest of getting rid of such a low cost because of the inherent neg 2K.
We did get a green Kuma, first ever I think green Rev Army card.
I believe it is the first.
I hope this means like in the future we're gonna get a green yellow Kuma leader.
Oh, maybe
And
that'd be
finally makes sense. Like it definitely he's gonna be yellow, right? But a green yellow makes so much sense. We haven't really got that many outstanding green yellow leaders.
I could also see purple yellow.
maybe.
But I would actually kind of think that'd be interesting, and I think it would fit him ideally too as a colors, right? Like green makes sense for Kuma and yellow. This is just on play. Give a Rest of Dawn to their characters. It's a 2K.
I think it probably just sees play because it's a 2K.
Yeah, you're limited to how many
The
2Ks.
deck is probably, unless you're playing greedy, you're probably running every 2K that is available to you.
Yeah, except this one. You might even run this one. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe you do still run that just as like another option. Like it really depends on how tight the deck list is. I would have to look at all of the cards that the deck is going to have access to post rotation.
Then we got a random green Usopp. Four
Well,
drop.
it's random because it's for Brook.
Is it for Brook?
Yeah, doesn't the chopper grab you a straw hat back from the trash?
Yeah, it does.
So does the Nami.
But like I said, it doesn't feel like it was made for it. Like it's not like I got a card that's good with self mill. Um, can't be arrested by effects by your opponents, and it gains blocker. So it's a blocker on D, and then on KO you may arrest one of your opponent's leader or character to cost 7,000 or
So
less.
essentially, it double blocks for a turn.
Yeah, it's kind of in some ways it's kind of like actually it's kind of in a way like Pearl, right? It's kind of a two-way
Yeah,
blocker
kinda.
here.
It's similar to Pearl,
Yeah.
just like with Green's flavor on it.
Yeah, it rests instead of KOs the thing. So it's kind of interesting. That's kind of nice. But I do kind of wonder what kind of leader was this originally designed for, outside of like limited with Brooke. Like what Straw Hat leader do you think this would be good in? Or are you gonna say all of them?
None of them. We don't really have that many green straw hat leaders.
Yeah,
I guess it could be okay in like Sanji Zoro.
And then we have red green Luffy, and then we have
Yeah, I don't think you would really run this in red green Luffy though. It doesn't do what you want your cards in red green Luffy to do. It doesn't restand your Dom.
Yeah, it does not restand the Dawn, but at the same time, it's when I played the red green budget Luffy deck, like having a Straw Hat that's a blocker is actually really effective in the deck. But then again, this is 5K, so it's not as effective because to keep it alive, it's essentially the same thing as putting the 2K on your leader.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't get that advantage. If it was a 4-6,000, then you have the advantage of gaining a bonus.
That'd be a lot better for sure. Also, it can still be rested by effects. It's just not character or leader. Like you can still use events to rest it. So it's still a dead man victim.
The irony there, because he was the sword. And then we have Moji when attacking KO with 3,000 that has a Dawn given.
I don't think this is very worth running. I think there are better cards.
Morgan is may give activate main, you may give one. Okay, so it's the same activated ability as Alvida.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the Krieg support is based around just giving Dawn.
So the question is, which is better, actually? She just can't be...
The one with blocker.
It's a blocker versus a pseudo protection.
Well, you can already run Kobe to give everything protection, so...
Yeah.
Probably the blocker would be better.
And then we have this flexible 2K that gives a minus 1,000. That's nothing to scuff at, I guess. Technically, it's okay.
No, that's actually because it gives a Dawn to something, then it also minuses 1K. So
I misread that.
It helps with your leader effect while also giving you the potential to swing into a character if you want. Sometimes yes, minus 1K isn't the best thing in the world, but
it's able to be two separate targets.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah, it could be two separate targets.
Sometimes you're also just trying to eat cards out of your opponent's hand.
This is probably more for VV, yeah. This one's actually really good. Buggy, 3-drop 4,000. It's like one of your better early game. So when he's attacking, you give one Rested Dawn to one of their owners, leaders, or characters. So he can swing, give himself a Dawn if you need to. So he could be a 5K, or he on a KO as a draw card. So it's kind of like a cheap version of a Sanji, 3-drop Sanji. In that regard, it's an aggressive card that draws you a card when they attack into it.
Yep.
Really good card. Of course, Pearl is like your best 4-drop in this deck.
Yep.
And then you have Nizuma. Activate main, give 1 Rest of Dawn to one of your opponent's leaders or characters. It's okay.
I don't
Damn.
know if you really need this guy just because you have so many other cards that do the exact same ability.
Now, there is something important to note that this kind of just collapses in the mirror. Since it is a 2K flat, it just... Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, and plus, I mean, I'm actually kind of happy you're not playing this card. No offense, I really found this guy to be very annoying in the actual anime.
I'm not a fan of this guy.
Yeah, so like,
y'all can't see it on the model, but y'all know what.
yeah, so he definitely, I'm glad he's not good, but I don't want to play him. We have Krieg, which is probably the best card in the deck. Like,
definitely up top 2.
Yeah, so on play gives you 3 Rest of Dawn when your opponent's characters. Then this thing gets Rush, and then you can get Activate main. Then you basically minus 1,000 for every Dawn that's attached to it. So this can get rid of a arguably funny. It's kind of ironic this card will be legal after the rotation, so you won't ever have this effect hit the A drop Kid. Not Kid. Yeah, Kid. Which is probably your best target for this.
Yeah, that's funny, actually. Kid rotates out.
Yes.
That would be the best target for
Yes.
this leader.
For this card, yeah.
Or for this card, yeah.
And the leader, too, that also would be... That's opponent's turn. So it doesn't necessarily help with that. Then we have Gin, which is just cheats a 5-drop. So it's not too bad.
No, a 6 cost 7k power character that cheats out another one of your 5/6s is very solid. This plays out the Axe Hand Morgan.
Yep. Or you can play Pearl if you really wanted to.
Yeah, you could go into Pearl, or you could even go into Alvida. Like, no matter what, it's putting a Dawn onto your leader. Like, it's getting you another card that generates value, and it has 1k counter. I think Jean is a really good card.
And the best card of the set, Seacat. 1-drop 0. If your leader has leader has 0 or less power, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 3,000 cost during the turn.
I mean, this is actually not a bad card for Bibi.
It's not, and then plus it's a Seacat.
Yeah.
I might just save up 4 copies of this just to play it.
There is one card that isn't in 15, but we are getting it with 15 that we have to talk about for Krieg. In EBO 4, there's a 7 cost red Zeph that when attacking boosts your leader by 2k power. That's pretty strong.
Yeah, so this helps Zeph. It helps. But there's another card that this helps.
It helps Krieg.
It helps Krieg, but there's another one. This one helps, of course, Kobe.
Yeah, it's a little unfortunate for Kobe that it doesn't give the boost on both turns, but...
Yeah. I mean, because this itself is not... No, Punk Hazard gets the boost, right? Or is it only Sword?
It's really only the Smoker. This is really only good in Smoker and Kobe.
Yeah. So that's a pretty good...
Doesn't really do much for... like Caesar Clown, unfortunately.
Oh, but everything's good in Caesar Clown. I mean, compared to what it has access to, this is probably good in Caesar Clown. It has to be better than one of the cards he's already playing.
Technically, it probably is because it's like an 8/8 with Rush. You just don't get the boost from...
you get the boost.
Can you hover over the Law card real quick? I want to see if it's Punk Hazard as well. It's not. Unfortunate.
Nope, this card is strictly for... Law.
Which I'm fine with. This is actually a really, really good card for Red Law. It's also not bad for, like, in the Eternal format, Red-Green Law.
I can see that. Returning this and getting a 5-drop green.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. of course, the best red card from the set, both
Oh,
combined, is the
This
Zoro.
card's so good.
The Zoro is so good. Actually, the best one is this Louis Kingdom, right? All characters with a base cost of 1 get plus 5,000 power on opponent's turn. I'm ready. When are they gonna give us a leader that is built around 1 drops? That's not, of course, not. And now
They did. It's purple and now.
it's not an L. Like when are we gonna get one that works with all these Louis Kingdoms, Louisa Kingdoms, and
Well, it would. We had one before that played a lot of low cost bodies. It was Red Zork, and now it's like kind of Rayleigh. But the really funny thing about Lucia Kingdom is that it's a never existed target. It's a victim of never existed.
yeah, that was their
I don't
intent.
think there's ever a situation where you run this card. I think it's kind of a meme, or at least it's kind of a meme at the moment. There's just so many better things you would rather do on 7, like maybe play Zoro. You can't even play that in Rayleigh either.
But hear me out. Hear me out. What's Whoop Slap?
I mean, what about him?
He's the reason to play it.
What Luffy are you playing? But it only gives the buff on your opponent's turn. So he's still a 0 power on your turn.
I know. I was just any reason to play Whoop Slap. Such a good name. It's more of a meme of a name than anything else. But I think that's it, right? We have KebbieG, which is not. I guess it's a 2-drop.
It's a
6,000.
That's pretty not bad. Like, this is probably decent for Krieg. It's not even a bad card to run off the rip because it's a 2 cost. Like, I could see that, like, it's an early game play.
Actually,
It's
I think
not
it's pretty
terrible.
solid. I mean, how many 2-drops are you playing in this deck? There's not that many playable ones other than Kobe.
Exactly.
KebbieG.
And Kobe's a 1 cost. And I think your Searcher's a 1 cost as well.
Yes. Yeah, so actually this looks really good. A 2-drop, 6,000 attacker.
Yeah,
Like,
I think that's not bad at all.
and it has a 1k counter. Yeah, you have Django. Yeah, so your early turns is very limited. You could play Laboon. You have your
Well,
events here.
you can't really play Laboon
You're right. You're right.
because it's animal.
You do just because it's a 2k counter.
But Kobe fills the same role. The deck actually has a lot of 2K counters. After like seeing us go through all of them, there's a lot of 2K counters for the deck.
And plus you have the event searcher, so you have that
Yep.
access too.
True.
Trigger draw card, not terrible on an event. It's probably says worse though than many of the other ones that have activate the effect.
Yeah.
But you'll take it. And then this one, you could rest your opponent's character with 8, cost 8 or less with 2 Given Dawn. And it's a plus 4,000 for a Krieg. So you can protect your best character as well. Like, if you really want to.
Yeah, it only protects the 8 cost Krieg or the leader.
Yeah.
Which is funny because like that's so greedy of Krieg to have a card that only protects himself.
I mean, it is kind of a good. I think it showcases him quite well.
Yeah, I
for an
agree.
event, I love it. What do you guys think about Krieg as a whole? Do you think this deck could be pretty viable, or do you think it's one of those
I'm
decks?
surprised it's not seeing more play at the moment, but that doesn't mean it won't see more play.
Is it just one of those
It seems like it
circumstances?
wants.
What's that, Preach?
It seems like it's wanting to play a tempo control deck while leaning more in towards control tools and not actually having enough threats for the tempo.
Yeah, so if you think about that as a tempo, like, so yeah, your early game pressure is so small. Like, you just have Buggy and KebbieG.
Mm-hmm.
So your tempo early game for being aggressive is not there. So I guess I could see that. Like, this deck, basically your mid game, you have 2 bodies come out on turn, your 6th on turn, you detonate. So like,
It does seem like maybe the deck doesn't have a crazy, like, 3-4 Dawn turn.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. And you're not double casting on that 3-4 on turn either to try to make up for it in a play that's replaceable, or at least consistently will be able to manage that. I don't even think there really is a spotlight here that makes up for that. It's just going to have a null turn.
Because there isn't, like, playing the KebbieG, or what was the 3 cost that you could run?
Buggy.
Playing either of those, they don't have rush. So, like, playing that plus, like, the Higuruma who, like, gives the Dawn to something, there's no value combo that you can do. I guess you can play Pearl on 4, or you can play the 4-cost Arlong, but it does seem like maybe a case of something similar to Kuzan, where it just doesn't have anything to do until, like, its 5 Dawn turn. Or nothing, like, super significant until its 5 Dawn turn.
Yeah, so yeah, with Kuzon, it's either 4 or 5. Like it's the first time you're actually playing a meaningful body. Because
This then leaves the question of what are you going to fill for the less impactful bodies that you're dropping to maybe set yourself into.
Yes.
Right.
So yeah, it's also awkward that the early game also happens to be the turns where your 2K counters reside. So your Kobe, like do you really gonna want to play Kobe all the time on out instead of a 2K counter? I don't know.
Well, early game, probably not.
Django, like that's like the only other good play. And your other 2K counter also is the Brothers, which also is another 1-drop. So like
same with the
2K.
Higuruma. He's a 1-drop, but he's your 2K counter as well.
So that I do gotta admit that is a little awkward for this deck. And this Hody Jones.
You can always slap Dawn and swing, but it's not going to be that impactful in the early turns.
Yeah,
so once you slap down Dawn,
you're not building tempo, which is kind of what the deck wants to do.
Yeah, so I think we already solved the problem with this deck. When they literally were talking, you mentioned someone talking about that it's missing a card. Clearly, the card they're missing is a good 2 or 3 drop that adds tempo. If it had that, then this deck, yeah, you could argue could be like one of the best decks in the format.
That seems like it's. Oh, go ahead.
Almost seems like the best 2 cost, and it's not even like amazing.
Yeah.
The Nezumi?
Yeah.
I think so.
Like
that sets you up into.
It is like a card that fulfills what you need for every turn of the game, but it's so rough for that to be your 2 Dawn play. And for you to kind of like maybe even crumble if you don't have this on 2, because then you're just playing awkward for the rest of the game.
There's also the route that you can look at it as from the game design perspective of they probably screwed over this leader in this specifically because of that minus 2K is just such a nasty effect.
Absolutely. It's like if you take a look at the Caesar Clown leader, that leader is technically insane, but it's so debuffed by the fact there isn't a grip of really playable cards for it because it's locked into Punk Hazard. So you have like some pretty not bad red Punk Hazard cards, but then we literally didn't get any new blue Punk Hazard cards at all. All of the like focus went into green. Like green Punk Hazard is insane. Tashigi, fucking Smoker, both of those really good, really strong green Punk Hazard cards can't be played in Caesar Clown.
Yeah.
That is fair, and they really haven't addressed that leader either. And hardly any of the EV sets either.
The only support that it has gotten since it released, it got a vanilla 4-cost 6K blue mocha, which there's no reason to run, that's bad. And then the 6-cost 7,000 power red law from PRB2 is technically a Punk Hazard card.
Yeah, they didn't give anything, I don't think, in either one of these two sets.
Nope. No Punk Hazard support. Well, Monet is technically Punk Hazard, but I don't think you would run it. Like, you definitely don't run it.
Unless you went more event heavy. Or, I
I
guess,
got if you run small enough bodies, what is
yeah,
the other Monet? What's the power on the 2-cost Monet
3.
that Dawn? See, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's like the vital piece in the deck.
Yep. Also, KO removal is very bad at the moment, so
I think 2 was released before it was actually a set, right?
PRB2? No.
No, EBO2.
I don't remember, honestly.
Yeah, so it's like one of those situations where, like, yeah, like picking up Virgo is your best target or your Monet. But yeah, they haven't gave it much support since it's been released. And for body wise, like a lot of these are over 1,000. You have this one.
Mhm. Oh, you could go Scotch into Rock, technically.
Who is Rock?
His brother that he plays out.
You don't have Scotch. Play up to one Scotch from your hand.
So you could go Rock, or you could go Scotch, and then Scotch plays out the Rock. So you would get 3 bodies, but they're very insignificant bodies.
Yeah, it's a blocker that gets this out. Like otherwise, you would have to go
Doesn't
down.
Monet also play something rested? The blocker Monet.
She does. I mean, she puts it in hand. I thought.
Oh, she adds it to hand. She doesn't even play it. Damn.
Yeah, she's just a searcher.
Never mind. Never mind.
Wait, no, here. Pretty sure she's just a searcher. Revealed one card, add it to your hand, then put them in the. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you would maybe use it to search out events, but that's not very good.
So your best case scenario is you search out this igloo, and
yeah,
or Gum Gum UFO.
UFO is not a bad card. It's kind of a little awkward though.
Yeah, so it's very awkward, and also doesn't get your Punk Hazard.
Doesn't Monet search out any event, or is it locked to red? No, it's not locked to red, right?
Yep, anything.
Is it a cost restriction?
No.
So you could technically search out like Grab Blade.
Or Red Rock.
Or Red Rock. I'm in post rotation mindset.
Yeah. Not wrong. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, so this technically can find, if you pair it in red or in blue, you can find the best removal spells in the game with her.
So it could help you out tempo in that aspect, but it maybe still isn't worth it.
I mean, if you're on your 10 Dawn turn, you could swing with Caesar Clown, pick up the Monet, or swing with Monet, pick her up on attack, recast her, search for something else. So like
but you could just do other things as well.
I mean, but you're also talking about Caesar Clown. I mean, that's probably the best thing you've got going for you. Is this Monet searching up in an event like?
I mean, not really. You're better off just attaching Dawn and swinging, or playing the 5-cost Smiley that minuses something's power by like 3k.
Yeah, every time I face him, he typically is like a Voltron leader, where he's literally putting all the Dawn on him, and then you swing.
Yeah, it's again, like the leader effect is actually really, really strong because you're able to remove something every turn. Removal is just kind of bad at the moment.
Yeah, and it gets worse in OP15.
Yep.
So, yeah, that was a nice conversation about that. I don't think there's anything else we really want to talk about. I mean, we'll save Lucy for some other time. I mean, then again, there's not really much to talk about. We talked about a lot of the red cards already. And
Didn't we cover Lucy last week?
did we? Might
I
have.
thought we had talked about him already. And we were just like not able to talk about Krieg.
Yeah, we didn't have time to talk about Krieg, yeah. But after thinking about it, Rebecca might be okay. Her ability is not locked once per turn.
It's not
Oh.
showing much promise.
I mean, I
Well,
imagine
it's
that, yeah.
locked once per turn by the fact that it's resting the leader, is it not?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. I was like, I thought about, like, if you technically, if it didn't rest her, you could technically just loot this.
You could play
Kyros.
Kyros, bounce Kyros to play Kyros again,
Yeah.
then bounce Kyros to play Kyros again.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that leads to they never can have a character that stands in Dressrosa. Otherwise,
I mean,
it just ends up immediately going haywire.
Yeah, for a 3-drop, but I mean, Kyros, you always have to pitch a card. It's kind of sad. They honestly should not have made her where she had a rest.
Mm-hmm.
Then she might actually be interesting and playable-ish. If you could cheat multiple 3-drops in one turn. I guess maybe that'd just be too busted, I guess.
You know, if we're talking about hypotheticals here,
But
just shrink her power and give her more abilities.
I mean, she already can't attack, so...
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she should have been like a 7,000 lead.
Well, no. Thematically, that absolutely does not make sense.
I mean, you're not wrong, but at the same time, like, it's one of those situations. Like, for one, are you really gonna be hitting a girl? She's 16 years old, man.
I don't know.
Thematically, she should have been 7K because I mean, you should be hitting a girl like that?
Thematically, she's like not very strong, and she puts herself into a situation where she has to battle royale for a really strong devil fruit. I think a lot of people are hitting Rebecca, unfortunately.
I don't think they really did in the show, though.
No, her whole thing is about not being hit. She's very evasive. But, like, are you going to make Rebecca as powerful as Roger, the king of the pirates? Thematically, is that what you're saying, Kebbie?
Hear me out instead.
Rebecca is the next Roger.
Hear me out instead. What if she had the ability of she gets to dodge one attack per turn?
Nah, just hear me out. You just add on the ability that she gets to have 6 people.
That would be
so the blockers she spawns actually don't disadvantage her attacking.
Ironically, that's actually one of the things I originally suggested. I think when they print this tax on cards, this glitter can't attack. They should just expand the character zone to 1 more,
or make it like I really liked what they did with Vivi, where they made it where she could make something attack. Like, yeah, give this same leader, but also make it where it can attack one, like it can give rush to something once per turn. So like it can play something out, give it rush, swing with it, bounce it back to hand, and then play out like the Kyros to swing with that as well, to like make up for the tempo that you're losing for your leader not being able to swing.
But hear me out. They really should have made it match the flavor of the show, and whenever, like, once per turn, if she would be getting attacked, you could dodge the attack and KO that character. Because that happens so many times in the actual show. She dodges the attack, and they fall off the thing on the edge, and boom.
That would be kind of insane to be able to essentially not be hit once per turn and be able to KO something.
KO the one that you negated, yes.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
But she's, I think it would be kind of funny, and it'd be nice for this leader. It fit her theme so well because, like I said, she did it so many times in the show. Like, she kept dodging attacks.
Who's got the barrier no me?
Bartolomeo.
Bart.
Yeah, it would have made more sense for an effect like that to be on Bartolomeo.
I mean, Bart. What is Bart doing here? If this character be KO'd, you may trash one event from your hand. on play activate one to roast a type event with a base cost 3 or less from your hand. It's kind of weird. Doesn't really fit him either, but Bart.
Well, I think his anti-KO effect does make sense.
Yes.
The activating an event from hand is just like tied into being a card for Lucy.
Yeah.
But also, I think I have to check the FAQ still, but I'm pretty sure when you activate the effect, you don't discard the card either.
Yeah, you're not technically casting it. You're activating the effect.
You're not playing that card. You're copying the effect of that card. And like, there's a 7-cost Sabo blocker that's a 7/9 that plays that activates like a 6-cost event or a 7-cost event from hand. Oh, it just activates a Dressrosa type event.
Any of them, yeah.
Which I'm pretty sure Gravity Blade is Dressrosa.
I know it's Navy.
Oh, we started talking about Gravity Blade, and we're ending up talking about Gravity Blade again.
Yes,
Very strong.
Don't you know Gravity Blade always, like the gravity just circles the conversation always back to it?
We can't escape Gravity Blade.
Yeah, the gravity doesn't allow us to.
I don't know. Rotation eventually will.
In a couple of years.
No, you're failing to understand. Like gravity, rotation doesn't affect gravity, so no, it just never rotates.
Last time it does.
But the best card in the set, of course, is Sanji.
Oh, the Sanji is a very, very good card.
Yeah, I'm excited to play this in multiple decks. I don't know if it's going to be good outside of Blue Purple Sanji, but it probably will be.
It's a generic 3-cost blocker that makes one of your generic other cards unblockable. It's going to be good.
Yeah, 3 Dawn, 7 Dawn attach, played Sanji. Boom, swing.
It also does have backup.
Yeah, it's a blocker and it has 1k counter. Like, there's nothing. This is just a generic playable card. This is very, very good.
But I think that should be closing out the podcast. It's an hour and 50 minutes, probably about an hour 40 length, and that's not even including closing thoughts and stuff like that, and shout outs. So, you guys are good to go to closing?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Repreach. Shout anything out that you want to talk about?
No, I'm all good. Just make sure y'all sub to the ACG channel and all that.
Yeah. He does play Force of... oh my gosh. I almost said Force of Will. That's
Force of Will?
That's a dead TCG right there. He does play White Schwartz a lot. Once a week, if you're interested in White Schwartz.
Mm-hmm.
He used to play chess. I don't know if he still plays chess anymore on channel.
I still hit up my local chess club, but I need to get back to streaming that. It's just scheduling that out is interesting with how I am right now.
So, how about you, favorite anime villain? I know you were streaming a lot of Yellow Luffy recently, getting prepped. Now, what are you going to be doing going forward?
I'm still streaming a bunch. I'm still playing a bunch of Yellow Luffy, but I'm not streaming as much of it at the moment. I feel like people maybe get a little burnt out. But that happens when you have to practice for a big event. I'm just having some fun right now, kind of waiting for OP15 to get released on the sim so I can mess around with it. I just started playing around on, oh my goodness, what is it called? Project Wrathtail, I think is the name of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an online version of the sim, but you don't have to download anything, and it has OP15 on it. So I might run some games on there of OP15 later tonight. Other than that, I'm just putting out YouTube videos pretty regularly. Probably gonna put out an off meta buggy video tomorrow, and I don't know. I think I'm doing a giveaway pretty soon. Once I hit the 100 subscribers on YouTube. I think I'm like 16 away right now.
Yeah, so if you're still listening to this point, subscribe to this channel. Get them to 1,000 subs. We don't even want to think about the benchmark for 100. Let's get them to 1,000, right? Surpass this. Surpass it. Right out the gate. If you're not aware, we do have a tournament coming up this Thursday. So Repreach, maybe you should consider getting in on it.
I thought I was already registered.
Oh, you are registered for it?
I thought I was.
Interesting. I'll have to check. But yeah, we're technically one person away, assuming everybody pays for the event and does everything they're supposed to qualify, technically for upping the prize pool to a box, basically, for the first place winner. So literally we're at 24 people. Like I said, let's get that up. Hopefully 10 above. That way there's a little bit of cushion to buy the box, because One Piece is expensive right now. Help me out, help you. Because otherwise I would be taking a little bit of a hit. That's okay. Other than that, technically on streams going forward for me a little bit, there's going to be like a 1, 2, 3, like 6 streams straight where I'm not playing One Piece. I know it's horrible, but technically Teenage Ninja Turtles is coming out for Magic tomorrow, or actually on Tuesday, so I have multiple streams allocated to Magic, so that way I can, have enough buffer content. So I will have a stream today of recording this, that Monday, because it's not out yet, and then I'll be back streaming on the following Thursday for One Piece. So there is going to be like a week where I'm not playing One Piece. Kind of makes me sad, especially since I prefer One Piece over Magic. Don't tell anybody in my community that plays the sub me for Magic, but like I said, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, do all that stuff for this channel, and subscribe to all of our channels as well. Let's grow those numbers up, and we'll talk to you guys next week.